Oh. Hi there, Nigel of NBW-Graphics here, and my first film of 2020. So, I trust you all had a good Christmas and the new year has come up to your expectations. Some of you may have noticed that this is Thai Adventure number 17 and final. So what I thought I would do is have a wash up of the complete series to date, and in so doing give extra thoughts and comments to each of the sequential series. Well, let's get on with the show. Oh, almost forgot. Yes, since the start of this series I have gained a modest amount of new subscribers. I thank you all for that, and I was once asked a question: why don't I ask people to subscribe to my channel, ring the bell and do likes, so on and so forth? Well, if someone likes what I do, what I present, then they'll do that. They don't need me to twist their arm. Anyway, thanks all the same. So let's go and have a look-see and see what we come up with. The Thai Adventure number 1, Depart and Arrival. Well, this starts with a departure from Terminal 5 Heathrow and takes you right through to Bangkok, hotel where I stay at, nearby an infamous street, Soy Cowboy. I give you a walk around that both day and night time. So before departing Bangkok, I was out one evening and chatting to one of the ladies serving tables at a bar, where else to pick up local knowledge. And I asked about chartering, or should I say hiring, a car and driver. She got in touch with someone she knew and I was given a price, and I thought, well, that'll do for me. So the next day the driver turned up, I checked out the hotel and he drove me to Kanchanaburi. And that takes us on to our next adventure. A Thai Adventure number 2, the Burma Death Railway. Well, I arrived mid-afternoon in Kanchanaburi, checked into my hotel, and I thought I'll have a walk round and do a recce and see if the place is as I remember it in my head. Which tells you that's not the first time I've been there. Well, the recce proved that my thoughts and recollections were on point. So I got a motorbike taxi into town, where I got to learn my way around the one street full of bars and restaurants, and I had my evening meal and got my thoughts together on how to film my next adventure. The thing is with the Burma Death Railway, more commonly known for its location, the bridge over the River Kwai, or should I say the bridge on the River Kwai. There's originally 2 bridges, a wooden one which a lot of people associate with from the movie, and there's the steel one still in existence and still operational today. That in fact was spoils of war for the Japanese and was looted from a oil field in Java, transported into Thailand and re-erected on the River Kwai. The 2 bridges came into commission in the same year, a matter of months apart, and we're only 1,000 metres apart. If you go into the museum, and you'll have to look hard for this, because I nearly missed it, there is a section of the original bridge as it comes off the beach into the embankment, which is part of the museum. That, I believe, is all that is left of the original bridge. The metal one, that is still there, and as I said, operational. If you gaze along its length, you'll notice there's two different styles of spans. There are straight rectangular spans and there are arch spans. The reason for that is, towards the end of the Second World War, Allied bombers took the bridge out, so when it was repaired, different kind of spans were used. So now you know. Anyway, watch that and you'll see that and more. Also the tourists, a lot of them Japanese, believe it or not, very excitable. As I got the train coming across the bridge returning to Kanchanaburi from one of my outings, I sat on the steps where you can board the train, and there's also handrails there, so which enabled me to stand up, lean out of the doorway and film, narrowly being no, not hit, but narrowly missing being hit by the bridge, and the gap between the side of the train and the bridge, well, limited access to say the least, which enabled me to get some good footage. And when said tourists spotted me doing this, they got quite excited. Anyway, at least they were enjoying themselves. I spent 5 days there in total, which included another car hire for a Thai adventure, number 3, Hellfire Pass. Arriving at Hellfire Pass, I got my thoughts together, got all the information available to me so I could walk around and not waste time, and then went for it. The trek through the jungle, well, that was hard work because the day before I'd had a good skinful. So I was slightly dehydrated, sweating a lot, and quite simply put, totally knackered. Anyway, that did not stop me from getting some good footage. And if you've seen that, I hope you enjoy my coverage of Hellfire Pass, along with its history and some of the characters that came out of it. Not only characters, but heroes in their own right. When all that was over and done with, return journey back to Kanchanaburi by car. Then I went out for a few drinks, replenished all that lost fluid, had a good meal and returned to my hotel room. If you watch that number 3, you will see my synopsis of the situation. A little worse for wear, I'm afraid, but who amongst us cannot be guilty of that occasionally? The Thai adventure number 4, visiting Jersey in Thailand. Well, Jersey's an old friend of mine, and he lives out in the middle of nowhere. Somewhere between Chiang Mai and Chiang Rai in the north of Thailand, and not too far from the Chinese border. In fact, if you get up early enough in the morning, like sunrise, before the heat of the sun can start to warm the day up, at certain times of the year, the dew on the grass is even frozen. Frost. That's why a lot of the Thais who visit up north wear thick woolies and jackets, because they just don't handle the cold like we can. To me, it was like a warm summer's day, a very comfortable warm summer's day. Well, it was good to see Mike again. I spent, if I remember correctly, about 5 days there. But the trouble with being out in the middle of nowhere, you just cannot walk out of his front door and pop downtown like you can in places like Phuket, Bangkok, Koh Samui, so on and so forth. So I had to continue my adventure elsewhere. But it was good to see him again. And the little store for everything, corner store so to speak, just not far from his house. Well, watch the adventure and see for yourself. Petrol on draft when you go to fill your motorbike up. Absolutely brilliant, I loved that. Also, while up at Mike's, took advantage of visiting the village of the Longnecks. These are the ladies who, over a period of time, have metal bands put round their neck. So they start to look like they've got a giraffe neck. Where in reality, their neck is not stretched. What happens is their collarbone gets compressed down as they grow. And then, of course, it gets to a stage where I would assume you reach a point of no return. So you've got them on for life, whether you like it or not. Strange thing is, according to this village, it's only baby girls who are born on a certain day of the week, and they are considered bad luck unless they carry out this tradition of wearing the neck bands. Anyway, check that out, see for yourself. Yes, Village of the Longnecks was Thai adventure number 5. So when I finished with visiting Mike, I got a bus to Chiang Mai. Was that 60, 90-minute journey, and checked into a hotel to have a night out, and then the next morning a flight down to Phuket. A Thai adventure number 6, Phuket, a look-see. Before leaving Chiang Mai, I've been in touch with Jessie. Jessie runs a limousine business, basically car for hire, which she drives. So I'd arranged for her to meet me at Phuket airport. Asked her to book me accommodation, so all I had to do was turn up. And that was it. That's the way to go. Whilst in Phuket, I'd arranged to meet 3 people. First of all, there's my friend Mark, an Englishman who lives and runs his own business in Singapore. He's a bike enthusiast, so he recommended we RV at Nicky's Handlebar. Well recommended. Nicely situated, good food, and if required, they have accommodation also. So you got the full package there. Oh, it was good to see Mark again. We'd only previously bumped into each other by professional reasons after not seeing each other for 30 years. So there was a lot for us to catch up on. Secondly, I needed to see another old friend who runs the Green Man pub and restaurant. Massive establishment, well worth a visit. Sometimes when I'm out that way on a Sunday, we purposely go there just for the Sunday roast. I seem to remember the chicken was very big, thick breasts of chicken and very succulent and moist. Yeah, good value. Howard is his name. Well, Howard had just started the video editing, so naturally I recommended the same program as I use, which he downloaded, and I gave him some points to start him off on the right track, and where he could go to on YouTube and have literally find out everything he needs to know. So I expect by now he'll be pushing out some good material. Then last but not least was Nana Yakun, the young lady who became a friend of mine on Facebook. So I thought, well, I'm in Phuket, I may as well go round to the bar she works at, Genesis 2, and see if she's on duty and buy her a drink and have a chat with her. Sounds like I've got a message. Well, Nana was on duty. What a lovely young lady she is. I arrived at the Genesis, and there's a big sign there saying Jack lives here. Who the fuck's Jack? Well, apparently Jack lives in a bourbon bottle. But, hey, each to their own, huh? Well, had a chat with Nana, very pleasant young lady, as I've already said. And then, of course, I couldn't keep her from her duties all evening, so I thought I'd better excuse myself so the situation doesn't get awkward. Just across the road is the Hard Rock Cafe. A memory came back. I recall going there one New Year's Eve for a meal before bringing in the new year. I had steak. Oh, bloody hell. Waste of time, waste of money. I know that you can't get good meat unless you import it into Thailand, but they should have had a chef who could have at least knocked up something half decent. Anyway, needless to say, when I'm in Phuket, I never use the Hard Rock Cafe again. Well, that just about winds it up for Phuket. So I had a chat with Jessie and arranged for her to drive me over to the east coast so I could get the Suratani ferry to Koh Samui. That's a passage of 1.5 hours. Roger, that's Jessie's friend, he likes cats, so he wanted a cat. Jessie knew someone who's just come into possession of a litter of kittens. And of course, they come in bunches, don't they? Not just ones. So, not one kitten, but two. So there I was, sat on the ferry in the air-conditioned compartment. Didn't want these two little chaps incarcerated in their improvised cat basket, baking to death on the bloody upper deck. So at least give them a cool environment. And every so often they have a little whinge, as cats do, which attracted the attention of the young ladies. What is it with dogs, kittens, and Christ knows what else, and females? Which has taught me a lesson. I've never talked to so many pleasant young ladies in such a short time because of those two kittens. Whereas if I'd have been on my own, without them, then I would have had an undisturbed journey. I don't know which is worse, the attention or the loneliness. I don't mind loneliness. Well, I guess most people who travel are on their own are accustomed to being self-sufficient. So, that winds that up. Roger met me at Baton, that's where the ferry docks in Koh Samui, and took possession of his two kittens and drove me to my accommodation in Laem Mai village. Well, that brings us up to our next adventure. A Thai adventure, number 7, Laem Mai, an overview. What I've basically done here is taken an aerial photograph of Laem Mai village and coloured in the route I've taken as I talk you through the journey around Laem Mai and the places you can expect to find. Shops, bars, restaurants, etc. I may redo this next time I'm in Thailand and film it as a road trip, which could probably make it more interesting and relatable to the viewer. Anyway, if and when that time and occasion arises, I shall give it some thought. So, what was the next one? A Thai adventure, number 8, an audience with Rob Newport. Rob's an old friend of mine, expatriate from Wales, and he runs and operates a bar called the Viper Room in the village of Laem Mai. So watch that video and you'll hear what he has to say, what it's like to be an expatriate running and operating a bar in Thailand. Sad thing is, once a year Rob goes home to see family and friends and renew his visa, etc. from the nearest Thai consulate. And whilst this year he was home, he received sad news that his partner Dow had died in a road traffic accident. I immediately assumed that she'd been driving a motorbike and the inevitable had happened, but not so. Dow doesn't drive motorbikes, cars or anything. She was simply a pedestrian, minding her own business, and became a fatality of life. I can't imagine how gutted poor old Rob must feel, and how hard it must have been for him to return to Thailand and open up the bar without the assistance of his partner. She certainly is going to be missed, not only by Rob, but all who patronised the Viper Room and got to know her. Anyway, I contacted Rob, and he gave me his permission to relate this news to you, as I have just done, and also use photographs of her and him from his Facebook page. So, if you're ever in Laem Mai, please pop round and give Rob your support by having a beer at his bar, or even a meal. Okay. I don't really know what to say now. That's a bit of a downer, isn't it? Having to depart news like that. The Thai Adventure, number 9. Koh Samui's Magic Garden. Personally, I think it's a lovely place to visit and well worth it. I would recommend going early in the morning to try and miss all the other tourists. There is a small entry fee to pay. You wander down a flight of concrete steps, and then you take a right at the bottom. So your left is a small stream, and on the right some derelict buildings that were originally built for the housing of monks on their travels. And as you pass them, it opens up into lots of statues of angels and musicians, etc. There is a story to all that, but you'll have to watch my film clip. Then if you continue along, you come to a turning that leads up some stairs where there's a tomb at the top. And the old boy and his good lady are buried there side by side. And that is the guy who built the Magic Garden. It started off as a personal project and then developed a life of its own, and well, the rest is history. Check it out, I think you'll enjoy it. A Thai Adventure number 10, Laem Mai watering holes. Well, this is exactly what it says. I'm giving you a little tour of Laem Mai village. The watering holes I prefer to patronise. Not all of them, but for the most part, most of them. As always with Thailand, and Koh Samui and the village of Laem Mai are no exception, things change very rapidly. Bars come and bars go. They get taken over by new operators and renamed, etc. So the landscape is forever changing. Anyway, I've shown you where all these places are, so if you go there sometime in the future, you'll be able to find, at the very least, where they were. But hopefully, if you've been looking forward to drinking one of my recommendations, then If luck's on your side, you will find it. Okay. A Thai Adventure, number 11. Koh Samui's Waterfall, number 2. As you'll see in my video, I dug this footage out of my archives. And the next time I'm in Thailand, I intend to refilm it. The difference being is, in Thai Adventure number 11, there was a drought on at the time. Hopefully the next time I'm there and film it, the waterfall will be in full operation. That remains for the that remains to be seen. So we'll leave that at that. Okay, let's move on. Next one. A Thai Adventure number 12. Plank steak at Eric's. In this video, I take you to a restaurant where I have what is known as plank steak. Very enjoyable, very filling meal. And opposite, there's an ice cream parlour that serves one of my favourite ice creams, rum and raisin. But unfortunately, at far too high a price. But I did buy them on this occasion and enjoyed. Anyway, you'll see all that for yourself when you watch the video, if you haven't already done so. So what do we have next? A Thai Adventure, number 13. Old school pizza. Well, I just had to go and check this out, despite the fact I'm not a pizza lover. But I can handle one now and again. So of course I went there and I made my order, etc., and the pizza arrived. Fatal mistake. I gets hold of the pizza in the plate and I'm angling it up to show the camera where the pizza slides off clean across the table. Well, classical. I had to debate within myself whether to keep that in the film or not, but you'll see. Anyway, the owner got to see it once I put it onto YouTube and sent me a message of thanks. So it's nice to see I did something right. A Thai Adventure, number 14, the Cob Whopper. The Cob Whopper is a bar and restaurant on Middle Road, Laem Mai village on the island of Koh Samui. It's been a place I've frequented many a time. I enjoy their company there, I enjoy their food. And, well, all I can say is I recommend it to you. So please, if you're ever there, check it out and I hope you enjoy. A Thai Adventure, number 15. Muay and Fight Night. I was in the Cob Whopper one evening when a bunch of young Australians came in and we got talking, and it turned out one of the ladies amongst them was taking part the following evening in a Muay competition. In other words, Thai kickboxing. That was going to be staged in the stadium in Chuang village. Well, I went along and filmed that, edited the film down, and you can see for yourselves. Also, way back when in the day, I also got told about a cage fight that was going to happen one evening at a fight camp. So I went along there and filmed that. Basically, the challenger and the challenged. One loses, one wins. But it was a near thing. Check it out, and I hope you enjoy it. A Thai adventure number 16. Laem Mai Food Court. This is where you can probably get your cheapest food in Laem Mai. It's centred around an open air boxing ring, and it's full of round bars. Also, the food court comprises of lots of individual stalls. So you can go and mix and match your meal. You get everything from Thai food, Indian curry, all your different salads, soups, practically most things that most people enjoy. Don't buy your beer from one of the round bars. There's a family mart right next to the one of the lines of stalls. Nip in there, get yourself a cold beer or whatever it is you'd like to drink from the fridge, and you can go and sit down, wait for your food, providing you're eating it in situ as opposed to takeaway. Enjoy your beer, food is brought to the table, you can enjoy your meal, and when all's done and dusted, off you go and enjoy your evening. Well, that brings me to the end of this video. I have some notes here, aid to memory. Things to run by you. Okay. Now, near the food court, there is a dirt track alley that goes down where there used to be a club called the Zodiac Club. That was a ladyboy cabaret club. Then all of a sudden, I'm going back a few years now by the way, and all of a sudden it closes down. Which I thought was a shame, because it was good valued entertainment. There was no entry fee, it was all open plan, so to speak. They just used to knock up the price of the beer, and providing you bought drinks, you were welcome to sit and watch the show. And as I said, good value entertainment. Then mysteriously it closes down, and the word on the street was the #1 ladyboy who ran it all had passed away, and there was no one to take over the helm, so to speak. Then some years later it reopened as the Cabaret Club. I was walking by it one day when I saw some of the ladyboys in all their refinery, what they wear for when they're on stage, talking to this Farang, and I thought, this guy is not a punter, he must be the new boss. So I waited for my moment and went over and spoke with him, and yes, I was correct in my assumption. He was the new #1 man. And I said to him, how would you like me to film your show? He asked me, how much? And I said, I'll film the whole of your show for you, and I'd like a 3-course dinner for my girlfriend and myself. That's it. Well, the rest is history. Now I need to do a little shout out for a guy called Ray Jessel. He made up a little ditty that you may have seen on TV, which I'll include here. And, well, as they say, the rest is history.
I met this girl, and she's just great. This girl I just adore. The problem is, she has much more than I had bargained for. She's got that style, she's got that smile, she's got the walk, she's got the talk, she's got that zing. There's just one thing, she's got a penis. She's got that flair, knows what to wear. She's got that face, that girlish grace. She's got pizzazz, too bad she has a penis. Now there's always some failure, always some flaw. Ain't that what they call Murphy's Law? But male genitalia, that's where I draw the line. Besides, hers is bigger than mine. My life's a mess, 'cause under that dress, she's got a P-E-N-I-S. Yes.
Some of you may be wondering where I stay and what the accommodation's like. Well, I'm staying at, or I stayed, at a place called Finn, which is up Middle Road, and a slight little turn off which puts you behind it, away from the noise of traffic, and it surrounds, the chalets and the rooms surround a lovely garden. So it's very pleasant, peaceful. When I was staying there, it was 7,000 baht a month, plus electricity. So as long as you remember to turn your lights off, and you don't run your AC 24/7, that should work out very competitive with taking on a normal room at 500 baht and up elsewhere.
Well, that was the gardens. Let's have a look at my humble abode. Okay, here we go. About turn. I've got my computer linked up to the TV. Looks like there's David Attenborough at the moment. Now, if we pan right, you see my wardrobe. Let's go down a bit. There we go, that's better. Bed. Oh, there's my bedside table for what it is. Okay. And down again. Now look at the bathroom. Oh yes, just to the left there. is the hot water machine for making coffee, etc. Haven't used it yet. And our bathroom. Bog standard toilet, sink. There we go, electric toothbrush. Oh, my drink flask there drying out after a wash. And my shower gels. High-tech stuff, eh? Okay, let's have a look. Very important piece of equipment there. And if we look up, there we have the bog rolls. Oh, I forgot to show you. And doesn't look much, but it's a good shower. Right, back into my little abode. And what we have here, microwave on top of the fridge, a couple of chairs, table with a container full of crockery and knives, forks and spoons. It's there because my computer was in the way. And that is it. Oh, outside I bought myself a fan, because the air tends to be very still out there. Until today, of course, because I've bought the fan. But anyway, we can sit outside now nice and comfortable. Okay, that's it.
So that's the end of it all. I hope you've enjoyed. And you may be asking, what's next? Well, in the very near future, I plan another trip back to Thailand, providing the fickle finger of fate doesn't prevent me from doing so. And I've turned over some ideas of what to film next. Try and give you something different. Although that's increasingly getting more difficult with all the YouTube coverage of Thailand. But I try to keep my options open. Bit of history here and there. Research my subjects. And you never know what opportunities come out of nowhere. Anyway, that's it from me. And I thank you all for subscribing to my channel. And don't hold your breath when my new series starts, because I'll be doing the 2 months in Thailand, and I don't want to spend my time editing film in the hotel room or my accommodation with the AC on, running my electric bill up. I'll save that for when I get home. And the time I'm in Thailand, I can not only be out enjoy filming and sharing with you what I'm experiencing, but also enjoying being in Thailand. Okay, troops, that's it. Over and out.